Hi, my name is Adam Webster, IT Director for the Inland Empire Labor Management Cooperation Committee. If you're a business owner today, you almost certainly rely on computers to organize your business's information. And if you're a computer owner, you most likely have heard that there are security concerns about using a computer. Viruses, spyware, bad guys trying to steal your data, etc. The bad news is that yes, there are attackers out there trying to compromise your computers. The good news is that while you can never be completely secure, there are a few simple things that you can do to make your organization's computer systems much less vulnerable, and most of them won't cost you a dime. Let's take a look at the most common types of attacks and how to defend against them. First off, if you're a small organization, the most likely things that you'll be facing are various types of malware and automated attacks. Malware is short for malicious software, viruses, spyware, Trojan horses, and a whole host of other bad programs that are designed to exploit your system, usually for the financial interests of identity thieves and fraudsters. The vast majority of malware is written for Microsoft Windows. So, if you're a Windows user, you should install and use an antivirus software. Note that you should only run one antivirus program on your computer. Multiple programs can conflict with each other and will not provide additional protection. Some of our recommended antivirus solutions are ClamAV, a completely free open source antivirus; Microsoft Security Essentials, which is free for up to 10 small business users; ESET Antivirus, a paid antivirus software that has exceptionally high detection rates and low false positive rates. While using an antivirus program is the easiest thing that you can do to protect yourself against malware, it's not the most effective. It's much better to avoid infection in the first place, in the same way that it's better to consistently wash your hands than contract and treat a cold. Preventing infection is primarily about being careful with the software that you install on your computer. If a program is asking permission to install itself, and this goes for things like browser toolbars, plugins, and extensions, you should ask yourself a few questions. Is it from a trusted source? Did you ask it to install? Are you sure this is an application you really need? Unless the answer to all these questions is yes, you should probably not install it. Click Cancel. Pay special attention to desktop goodies, free wallpapers, screensavers, cursors, and the like, which often come bundled with all sorts of nasty surprises. If a prompt asking you for your permission to install something or asking for your password appears out of nowhere without your asking, always click Cancel. Finally, if you're a Windows user, do not use Microsoft's Internet Explorer for web browsing. Internet Explorer, or IE as it's commonly called, is notorious for allowing so-called drive-by downloads, an exploit in which malware is installed onto users' computers without their knowledge or permission. Download and use Mozilla Firefox or Google's Chrome browser for safer web browsing. Other types of attacks you will almost certainly be facing, especially if you have a high-speed internet connection or a website, are automated attacks. Bad guys have programs scanning the internet, attempting to connect to other computers, looking for two things: security holes and weak passwords. Security holes are the easiest thing to fix. First, make sure you've got a good firewall. Most recent wireless routers will serve this function well for a home or small business environment. Look for one that offers SPI, or Stateful Packet Inspection. Secondly, and I cannot overstate the importance of this, you should be updating your operating system and software regularly. As soon as a security flaw is found in an operating system or a piece of software, these flaws are published to the internet, usually with a patch. This is a good thing because it allows you to fix the flaws in the system, but it also announces the flaw to the bad guys, who will instantly begin exploiting them. Every security update that you leave unapplied is an open door for malicious users. Weak passwords are the other major vulnerability to automated attacks. Fortunately, it's relatively simple to develop and use strong passwords. You likely know that you should avoid dates, names, and simple dictionary words for your password. But password advice usually recommends that you develop passwords full of mixed case letters, numbers, symbols, and the like, even if they remain short. While it's a good idea to use various types of characters, it's actually password length that's the most important factor in keeping your password strong. This means that you should use passphrases instead of passwords. These can be very easy to remember and very hard to crack. For example, we already know that Jessica is a bad password. It would only take less than a second to crack that password offline. But did you know that capital J, 3, SS, 1, C, at isn't really that much better? It would still only take 11 minutes to crack this password offline. A password like I.met.jessica.in.may.1993 is much better. An offline attack would take 90,000 trillion centuries to crack this password, and it's fairly easy to remember. It's also very important to avoid password reuse. With so many different websites, devices, and accounts these days, it's tempting to come up with one good, strong password and simply reuse it on every device and website we visit. But this is a very risky practice. Even if one of those devices or websites is compromised, either by an outside attacker or an insider, they now have that one good password that you use everywhere. It takes no effort at all to take those stolen credentials and see if they're also useful on Gmail or online banking sites. To stay secure, you should have multiple passwords that you use in different places and reserve at least one of them for only the most sensitive information. Managing a lot of passwords can become cumbersome fast, so a good solution is to use a password manager like LastPass or KeePass. Finally, we come to the topic of what security professionals call social engineering, the practice of tricking you into revealing sensitive information about yourself. The most common example of this sort of attack you'll see is called phishing email, communications designed to look like they come from your bank or other well-known organization, insisting that you either email them or click on a link to resolve some sort of account problem. When you click on the link, it takes you to a web page that looks very much like the login page for a legitimate organization, but is actually a fake site which harvests your login information to be used to break in to your account. Social engineering attacks can also come via telephone calls or even in-person appearances, so always be on guard. Defending against social engineering attacks is mostly a matter of remembering a series of don'ts. Don't ever give out your password, ATM PIN, or similar information to anyone. If they're really the bank, the IT department, there's no situation in which they'll actually need to ask you for that information. Don't click on links and emails purporting to be from trusted organizations. Instead, open your web browser and type in that organization's web address directly to go to their website. In general, be skeptical about unsolicited contact.